So if you can imagine Esau, he's growing up as a young man and he has expectations for his future. I've got the birthright. I'm getting the blessing. I'm going to be the one that's well taken care of. This is going to be my future. And you can imagine if you're Esau, you're thinking about your future and what you're going to do after you leave your father's house and when you take the inheritance and when you have your own family and everything that is that you're going to do with that. But Esau came back, and in a moment of desperation, Jacob had something that Esau wanted. And what Esau was willing to do in that moment, he was willing to exchange everything in a moment of desperation, willing to exchange everything that he had dreamed of in his life, his birthright, everything that he had coming to him down the line, to exchange it just for something to eat, just to satisfy the moment. Be careful of what you would exchange in this life in a moment of weakness, in a moment of desperation, in a moment where you don't know where to turn or you don't know where your nourishment's going to come from, in a moment when you find yourself weak. Be careful for what you will exchange in that moment that could affect the rest of your life. Be careful in those moments what you would exchange for a moment of gratification or for a moment of just being able to feel better. Because when Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and we even see when he tempted in Luke chapter 4, when he tempted Jesus in the desert, when does he come in to entice and to drag you away? He came in even when Jesus himself, when he was hungry, when he was weak, when he was tired. When are you going to be enticed and dragged away in moments of desperation, when you don't know where to turn or what to do, when moments when you feel weak, when moments when you're depressed or so anxious, when you're emotionally paralyzed, and moments in life where you don't know where to turn or what to do? Be careful and listen and watch out for what voices are speaking to you and where you're being led and what you're being led to do. Those are moments when you don't do. You know how the people give the advice and say, oh, just do what your heart leads you to do what your heart tells you, do what your emotions are leading to do what you feel, be yourself in that moment. Those are moments that are enticing and dragging you away from what God would have. Those are when you hear things like that, that should be a clue. A light bulb should come on to say, okay, I can't follow this, because we've learned through Scripture that out of all things, the heart is a deceitful thing. The heart is a deceitful thing. Now, the heart can be moved and it can be transformed. A heart can be directed towards the things of God. And then your heart can help lead you the right direction because you're ultimately following what Jesus is asking you to do. Your heart can be directed towards the heart of God. That's why when we talk about it's so important to pray, because what is prayer? Prayer is embracing the heart of a loving Father. It's embracing the heart of God in the moment to say, God, I'm coming to you with this request, with this prayer, because in my own hands, I don't know how to handle it, and I don't know what to do with it. In my own hands, I'm going to mess it up, and I'm going to follow my own heart and be deceived. In my own hands, whatever this is, in my own hands, this is so limited. But what prayer is saying, let's get it out of my hands and let's put it in your hands, God. I want to embrace your heart about this. I want to know what you think, what you hear, what you have to say, how you want to use this opportunity, like what you want to speak to me, what I can learn from this moment. That is as you in prayer saying, I'm putting it into your hands and I want to embrace your heart, a loving Father. That's why we say in prayer, we're not having to convince God to do anything. I'm not having to convince God, or I don't have to say words such a special way that is a key that unlocks God to now be compassionate. You don't have to convince God to do anything. No, praying to God is actually you just embracing the heart of God. Listen to this. All of this was said to Esau. You're going to serve your brother. Life's going to be hard for you. You're going to be far away from riches. Life's going to be hard. You're not getting the blessing. But listen, but when you decide to break free, you will shake his yoke from your neck. It said from that time on, Esau hated Jacob because of their father had given Jacob the blessing. And Esau began to scheme, I will soon be mourning my father's death, then I will kill my brother Jacob. See, Esau had been treated unfairly. It had been taken from him. And I was thinking about, man, all of these moments that I have felt like Esau. And you can think of moments in life where you have felt like Esau, where this has been unfairly treated. And you just hate what's happened to you. And sometimes you hate the person that did it to you. Sometimes you want to be far away from the person that did this, or you want to be far away from whatever circumstance happened to make this happen in your life. Because it said Esau then hated Jacob because of what had happened. But did you hear what he said? Did you hear what Isaac said? He says, but when you decide to break free, of this, you will shake his yoke off of your neck. What represents years of life, we just go like a little page turn later, and we find out that Esau has everything. We found out that Esau has a family. He has a home. He has a life. He's wanting to bless his brother. He's got a love for his brother. He's embracing his brother. Esau invites Jacob to live with him. How did that happen? What happened in the middle here? What happened in the middle of this? Because he hated his brother. He was going to kill his brother when his dad died. That was something he intended to do. But I think somewhere along the way, he remembered. He remembered what his father said. And I want you to hear this today, and don't forget, and remember what the Father is speaking to you today. No matter what's happened to you or how unfair this has been, how unfair you've been treated, no matter how bitter or angry that you've allowed yourself to be about it, no matter how upset that you've been to where you've been like Esau and you were just like, I'm going to take care of this myself, right? When you wanted justice for yourself, all of that. I don't want you to forget what God's speaking to you today. He's saying, but when you decide to break free of it, Jacob's no longer your servant. Because you have things in your life that control you to this day. Ways that you've been treated unfair that are determining who you are and how you think and how you view this life and how upset you still are. Things that happen that have been unfair, and in moments of weakness, someone's came in like Jacob and said, I'll take that. I'll take that. And it was this week realizing, wow, once I choose to break free from it, it's no longer my master. I'm no longer in service to this because I've made decisions in my life that are based around the hurt that's happened. I've allowed it to affect my own ministry and the ways that I make decisions to lead the church because of something somebody did to me however many years ago. What if we did what was not expected for us to do? Because we definitely have reason for whatever you've allowed to be bitter about, whatever you've allowed to grow, whatever you've allowed to be your master over the years. You have reason to be in a place to be where you are, where you can gather people around you and just to say, you know what? It's expected that you would still be upset about this. It's expected of you that you would still be angry. It's expected of you that you would still want justice. It's expected of you. And I'm just thinking for a moment, what if we did what wasn't expected of us for whatever it is? In this scenario, what if we did what wasn't expected of us? What if we allowed ourselves to break free?